Now, today marks the start of National Apprentice Week. Parents, teachers being asked to look beyond tired preconceptions surrounding apprenticeships.
Yes, according to new research, many people fear their child could be stuck doing menial jobs like making the tea. Kirstie Donnelly is City and Guilds Group's interim chief executive and joins us now. Kirstie, if these preconceptions and prejudices exist around apprenticeships, how do you change them?
Well, I suppose if you're only ever fed one diet, as simplistic as that might be, then you'll only ever know one opportunity, which is why we see so many young people still believing that going to university is the only option, when, of course, the plethora of apprenticeships that now exist, over 500 apprenticeship programmes. You can now go and become a cybersecurity apprentice with MI5, for example. What we need is to be able to talk about these more openly in schools, with parents, have employers more engaged and more involved, to actually get the breadth and variety that now exists for people who want to do an apprenticeship.
How does that work in some of the professions? I was interested. I mean, you're talking about law, you're talking about teaching, you're talking about other things like that, but you still need the same qualifications. Is this just a way of starting actually on the coalface, as it were, but still doing all those qualifications as you need to, as other people have done perhaps later on?
Well, I think you make a really important point there. The whole point about an apprenticeship, you still are actually training. You're still doing all the underpinning necessarily on the job and off the job training. So it's still a very, very rigorous programme. In fact, in some cases, some would say even more rigorous, because you are having to cope with the combination of actually doing what you learn while you're also learning it. So you're absolutely right. At the end of it, you're still being certified to be absolutely qualified and competent to actually take forward that particular role.
Just very briefly, what makes a good apprenticeship for someone who's trying to structure one?
What makes a good apprenticeship is the underpinning training, the off the job, the on the job, the actual mentoring in the workplace. I think one of the advantages for apprentices, especially young apprenticeships, is they get the opportunity to work with older workers. They get to see a different variety of how to operate in the workplace. So it's a great experience all round.
Kirstie Donnelly there from City and Guilds Group.